Hey, you're listening to Ty Bollinger of CancerTruth.net. You're also listening to Justin and Kate with Extreme Health Radio. These guys are great. Enjoy listening to them. I always do.
Welcome to Extreme Health Radio. Extreme Health Radio.
Where natural solutions to almost every health condition are out there. Join us on our journey to find them.
Now here are your hosts,
Broadcasting from sunny Southern California around the world.
Justin and Kate Stellman.
All right, if I can get these audio knobs working, I think we're ready to go.
It's been quite a morning.
It was quite a morning. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us on another episode here of Extreme Health Radio. Really appreciate you being on the call, and it's another gloomy day here.
4th of July.
4th of July, it's 2013, and it's socked in with clouds.
At least here at the beach.
Yep, we'll be okay. We'll fight through.
We will.
Special Interdependence Day, as I like to call it.
Well, and Chris, who we have on today, we didn't even wish him a happy belated Canada Day.
That's right.
Which I believe was Monday, if I'm correct.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we have a lot of holidays this week.
We do, and my name is Justin, and this is my wife,
Kate. Did you forget my name?
No, I wait for you.
Oh, you were being kind.
Yeah, I let you
chivalrous.
introduce yourself. So. And we're broadcasting worldwide from Southern California. So I want to thank you again for being on the show. And we've got a great guest today, Chris Kehler. And we're going to be talking about energetic medicine. And I've been watching some documentaries lately and doing some learning on my own. And this should be a great show on healing and health from an energetic perspective. So we'll introduce Chris in just a moment. We do shows 4 days a week on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And if you'd like to follow us and follow our work and keep up to date with our shows and get some inspiration on a daily basis on Facebook, you can do that at extremehealthradio.com/Facebook. And you can click the like button on there and you'll be off. It would help us out and you'll get show updates. That'd be a good thing. And this is episode number 124. So you could go to extremehealthradio.com/124 to get any show notes or the transcription in time. And you can also join the show too if you like. You can email me, Justin, at extremehealthradio.com or
Kate, Kate, at extremehealthradio.com.
And another fun way to join the show, if you'd like, is we're trying to encourage everyone to do this, is go to extremehealthradio.com/voicemail. And you can record a voicemail for us or for our guest that we can play on the air. We have one of those today. So
cool.
That should be fun. And if you'd like to support our work on a financial level, and you purchase from Amazon, that's a good way to do that. You can go to extremehealthradio.com/Amazon. Anytime you make a purchase of any product whatsoever, it doesn't have to be health related, and we'll get a kickback. So I just want to let you know about that. And we have some really great guests coming up. Really excited about this. We have Steve Barwick.
Oh, right.
Yeah, from silverlungs.com. So he'll be talking about colloidal silver, how to make your own colloidal silver, the antibiotic properties of colloidal silver. So that should be a good show. Then we have Gilbert Renaud from recallhealing.com.
Oh, yeah, he's interesting.
And that's a very interesting concept, recall healing. And it has to do with emotions and all kinds of stuff like that. So then we've got Sean Stevenson, who's really into fitness and superfoods and things like that. And he has a huge clientele from the SeanStevensonModel.com. So that'll be an interesting show too. And today we've got Chris Kehler, and talk about a guest who has caused quite a stir. Probably the biggest stir in our entire community.
Yeah.
Chris Kehler's work. We've been getting emails, Kate, left and right from Chris Kehler.
Yep.
Or about Chris Kehler. And we've sent and forwarded lots of people to him. And he's an energetic healer, and he's a practitioner of naturopathic medicine and philosophy. And he's up in Canada. And his website is chriskehler.net. That's KEHLER.net. So welcome again, Chris, to our show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me again.
Back by popular demand.
Back by popular.
Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July.
Happy late Canada Day.
Thanks.
Yeah, you've caused quite the stir amongst the Extreme Health Radio community here. We've been fielding emails left and right coming in from your first show.
And I've been enjoying reading and responding to every last one of them.
Awesome.
That's great. Yeah, you've been helping some people. Some people have been contacting you, and I'm glad that's going really well.
It is, and I have to thank you guys so much for spreading the word. It's all about education and about showing people that there's something different. And it's a very tough thing to do when you're doing my type of work, is to explain it to people. So being able to be on your show certainly facilitates that in a big way.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I think that's one of the challenging things too, is like you said, trying to explain this concept to people is rather challenging, I would say.
That's exactly it. That's why I put a lot of videos on YouTube, and I do lots of explanation. I do lots of dowsing sessions to show people how it works, what it can do for you, what we can work on, and the whole process. And I try to explain it so I'm not talking over your head either, because there's a lot of things that I still don't understand about it that I'm learning about. So it is a process, and it's working quite well. The YouTube videos work well, and being able to, like I said, on your show really helps a lot.
Oh, good. And so let's assume that someone's listening to this and hasn't heard our first show with you, and I'll put a link to that in this show page, which is extremehealthradio.com/124. And let's say they haven't heard that show, and let's just lay a little bit of groundwork in terms of for people how energetics, vibrations, sound healing, frequencies, how all these play a role in our healing.
Okay, well, first off, it starts off, you have to understand what we are made up of. Every cell, every molecule, every part of our body is you have to look at it as being vibration and energy. Okay, so now to simplify it a bit more, when an opera singer sings at a frequency and shatters a wine glass, the wine glass really no longer exists. It's in pieces, but you've basically shattered the wine glass. So that's the analogy I like to use. That's how we work with energy. So we find out what your wine glass is, find out what the frequency is, and we shatter it. So ultimately, I use a pendulum and chart method of finding out what your wine glass is. So let's say your wine glass or your health issue is in your liver. I'll find out what it is, be it a virus, a bacteria, a parasite, mineral deficiency, or excess. And quite often there's going to also be a negative energy, and we'll get into those later if you want. So then I just use my pyramids, my different sacred geometry, to intend. Now that's a very special word, intend. I want you to remember that one. So I intend that the frequency or the quantum energy of that wine glass or that virus or whatever it is leaves your body. And through quantum physics, through quantum energy, through God energy, this just happens.
So you're able to connect or use these tools to connect to people all over the world. Is that kind of how it works?
Oh, absolutely. The beautiful thing about energy is that it travels at the speed of light. It travels at the speed of God, if you will. So half of my clients are all over the world, and I have lots in California, lots in Florida, Bismarck, North Dakota. Quite a few people in Saskatchewan are catching on. I do have a few clients in Australia. I have a student and a few clients in London, England. And just as soon as I say the words and hold the pyramid to the microphone, they feel it on the other end of the line. They actually feel the energy and feel the healing starting to happen.
Now, because I've had the pleasure and just awesome experience of meeting with you a few times over the phone, how can you answer how that works? I mean, is it working off of you connecting with me and our voices, or I wasn't even talking to you, can the healing still happen, like just on your level, if we're not even connected by a phone line? Or?
Well, there is different forms of distance healing where you can envision the person's picture or their energy within your mind and do the transformation that way. But ultimately, if you're on the other end of the phone, if we have that connection, there is an energetic connection right now. That is the best way to do it. So distance healing can be done through thought process, but it's going to take a lot longer. Some people are very good at it. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but for me, what I do is if you're on the other end of the line, if you're on the phone, if you're on Skype or whatever, if you're sitting next to me, it doesn't matter. As long as we have that connection made, then the energy can transfer.
Wow.
It's interesting because like in quantum mechanics, they've done experiments with photons and particles that show that particles can exist in two places at once. And that's kind of the idea here. Is that right?
That's exactly right.
Okay. Wow, it's fascinating. I know that blows you away because people think, how can one thing exist in two places? But it does. It does if you read the books and all this kind of stuff. And I have a feeling that the energy perhaps passes through the cosmos or the universe or the field of energy in this very same way.
Well, I'm not even going to try and explain that one because ultimately it doesn't matter.
Right.
Us as human beings, we're very inquisitive and we need to know the answer to everything. And sometimes there just isn't an answer. And it just is. So if you can accept it just is, we do the work, your health problem goes away. It doesn't matter how it happened or the whole process. As long as your health problem is gone, that's the main thing.
I like that. And so what kinds of things can you work on, or are there conditions you can't work on, or how does that work?
Basically, I can work on absolutely anything. The only thing I can't do is let's say, regrow a limb or reattach a piece of tendon that's ripped away from your knee, that type of thing. There's some things that just aren't doable. I mean, it could be done, but it might take 25 years to regrow a limb, okay?
Oh, I see.
I've never tried it. I have regrown a nerve in somebody's spinal column, and they've got full feeling back in their legs, so that is possible.
Wow.
Ultimately, anything can be done as long as the person receiving the healing is willing to follow through with the process and follow my instruction and carry on with the treatments. Many people, they want to try it and say, oh, I don't know about that, and then they don't follow through, then nothing happens, and they say, oh, that didn't work. But if you're willing to follow through, and I'm not talking about 30, 40, 50 treatments. We're talking maybe, depending on what the condition is, could only be 4 or 5 treatments.
Okay.
Wow.
And does this, can people see you? Let's say they have like a fear of flying, or they have a fear of giving birth, or a fear of this or that, or maybe they feel stuck professionally and they want to break through some barriers on a financial level and things other than health. Can you help them with?
Oh, absolutely. I'll case in point. A client came in. She says, I have a fear of spiders, arachnophobia. Now she can pick up a spider and let it crawl in her hand. One treatment, it was just some negative energies that are there that's causing fear. Now, to get deeper into that, what is fear? Fear is an energy that lower dimensional beings live off of, okay? So there is lower dimensional, higher dimensional beings all around us all the time. They live off of our fear. Fear is tasty food for them. So if they can create fear with a person, that means they're going to get more energy from that person. So by removing what is wanting the fear out of your body, then that goes away. So any kind of phobias, addictions are all fear-based, and those can be worked with. To restructure your business or your abundance within your business or how your business operates, that can be done also. I mean, ultimately, you're running your business. You're the master of your own destiny there. But if there's any kind of energetic blockages that's within your business or the way you run your business, then what I do with that is I work within your law of attraction, or what I like to call the law of intent. So there could be blockages within there that's not having it work for you. And the whole law of attraction, law of intent is the secret, or that's what a lot of people call it, is the secret. So it's being able to manifest what you need or want within your life. And for some people, they can manifest almost anything and things just go smoothly. For some people, they try to manifest, let's say, a new car, and they end up getting an old clunker. Well, that law of attraction or that secret is working in reverse. So I'm able to go within your law of attraction, within your law of intent, and remove the blockages and get things moving. And I have had some pretty good success stories with doing that. So it's something that is real, something that works. I've done it for myself, and look at me now.
Wow.
Seriously.
That's crazy. So why do you think some people, let's say some people are relatively just normal and they don't have, seemingly really any issues. Why do you think some people have a harder time? Like you said, some people can attract, things left and right, and the other guy can't. Have you found lots of different reasons for why that could be?
It's all about spirits and entities, and like I said, the whole fear-based thing. Any kind of problem within your life, be it health problem or whatever, there is going to be a spirit or entity attachment that is pulling those strings to make things happen that are going to affect you negatively. So by removing those out, that's where the difference starts to come in. Then your own free will can rise up to the top, and you can manifest whatever you want or whatever is going to be good for you. So the whole negative energy aspect is a lot bigger than anybody really realizes.
Yeah, it seems like this kind of stuff and the work you do is like a layer deeper, or just much deeper than, people healing even on a physical level with diet and nutrition. And I mean, it seems like you just kind of peel back that layer, and this is the real, the root of
the work I do does get right down to the very nitty gritty root of what all problems in our world are. You read in the Bible. I'm not a Bible reader or a thumper, but I do use it for research. And Satan is such a huge issue that he creates all these different things that can cause turmoil in our life.
Well, can we talk about that a little bit? Because I know some of the emails I've been getting, and I think I forwarded you that one question about, because I believe your work is super powerful, and some people are really confused about the whole, God versus Satan energy, and how do you know this isn't like messing with spirits or coming from, a Ouija board type situation? Can you shed a little light on how you view all that?
Well, in the last couple of months, my work has really been coming a lot higher, different levels. So I'm starting to understand the whole God and Satan aspect, the whole Christ aspect, all the angels and different spirit guides that we have, that whole realm. I'm starting to understand it a lot more. So basically what I'm able to do now with my pendulum is I have a chart with letters A to Z on it. And I'll ask a question of whatever being I want, whether it be Christ, whether it be God, whether it be Prophet Muhammad, anybody I want. One of my spirit guides is actually Nikola Tesla, who's helping me with one of my devices. He's giving me information. So I'm able to ask questions about how to deal with these spiritual problems, what the best thing to do is. And what I've been getting a lot of information on is, here's all the crazy stuff. And this is where people roll their eyes. People are with me until I start talking about this stuff. But, I was born in a strict Mennonite family. I was raised going to church all the time. And I do have that spiritual background, which I don't really follow anymore. But I've always, stayed away from the Bible because I just didn't have any use for it. But what my pendulum keeps telling me to do is look at the book of Revelations, okay? The book of Revelations is really the only book that has a lot of truth to it. Everything else has been manipulated and changed so much. But what it tells me is that Revelations 20.8 says that an angel is going to come down and open the pit of hell and put Satan back in there for another 1,000 years. And that just happened yesterday. So I've been getting information like crazy and actually working with removing Satan from different people. Case in point, yesterday, I have one client in California who has a huge tumor mass on her chest, on her skin. It's like a size of a softball, and I've been working with it for about 6-8 months, and it now has a big hole within it where it's starting to deteriorate. So yesterday I'm working with a person, so I asked the question with my pendulum to my guides. I say, what is in the tumor? And it said Satan, it said the devil, it said Lucifer. So I begin to remove these beings from that tumor, and my pendulum spelled the word F-U, Chris. And I'm like, what? I've never heard that before. So I asked it again. It said, F-U, Chris. I am Satan. So I had a little conversation with Satan.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
How'd that feel?
A lot of people are rolling their eyes right now, and that's cool. And to me, it's just, another day in the office. And I removed all those energies from this person, and the overwhelming feeling that she got of lightness, of relief, And she said that she could feel light pouring into the area where the tumor is. And that's going to make a huge difference in itself. Now, apparently, we worked further, and the chakra in her heart, the heart chakra, which is right behind that tumor, was actually in the first dimension of hell. So Satan and the devil and Lucifer were using that chakra system to go in and out of her body, and it was creating this tumor. So we had to work at that level in order to get rid of the health problem.
That is just crazy.
That's unreal.
That's amazing. So,
and like I said, it blows me away. And there's a lot of people I choose not to tell this, but it's just something that I do need to talk about because it is part of it all. Because when you phone me and we do an appointment, if it comes up, I have to tell you. I'll tell you another quick story about these type of energies. A client brought in her 8-year-old daughter. And this girl, every time that the mother tried to brush her hair, she would be in pain. Every time she put on certain clothing, she would, not feel comfortable. And she was always discordant with other kids and causing trouble and just being, not a nice child. She came in, I removed the devil from the dark matter within her body, and she is a completely different person now.
So what do you mean by the dark matter?
Well, the dark matter in your body is all the spaces between the cells and the molecules.
Okay, so that's just like the seemingly irrelevant space then.
Yeah, it's like an empty space, and the scientists call it dark matter, so that's what I refer to it as, and that's a place where entities and beings like to hide because they think they can't be found there.
So that's usually within that space is where the spiritual stuff resides?
A lot of it does, yes.
Wow.
This is really interesting. We're actually up against a break here.
Oh, already?
Yeah, already. This is going fast.
Let's do it.
This is really good. Amazing stuff with Chris Kehler. If you're interested in his work, if you have an open mind and you're interested in his work, his website is Chris Kehler, CHRIS, and Kehler is KEHLER.net. And we'll put a link to his website on this show page, which is extremehealthradio.com/124. And this is really good stuff. I'm really excited about this.
Me
so
too.
We're going to explore further with Chris Kehler right after this break. Rebounding is, in my mind, one of the best ways to detoxify your lymphatic system, and it's the only exercise on earth that will actually detoxify your lymphatic system. And your lymph system is responsible for storing toxins and chemicals and poisons that you're exposed to, and there's no pump for the lymph system. It doesn't have a heart, so you have to move it up and down, and it's filled with millions of one-way valves that get squeezed and pushed and opened and closed every time you jump. And we feel like we found the best rebounder on the market today. It's the Rolls Royce of rebounding. It's called the Bellicon. And I highly, highly stand behind this product. It's absolutely amazing. If you want to hear what some of our guests said about it, check them out on our store. You can listen to what a lot of our guests have said about rebounding and the Bellicon in particular. So a lot of times people will go on the rebounder with oxygen for cancer if they're really sick. And it's one of the most powerful things you can do to cleanse your body and to exercise every single cell in your body, every organ in your body. It's the only internal organ exercise you could do. And it's absolutely incredible. It also helps to rebuild bone density because of the up and down motion, the G-force that gets applied to every cell of your body, and it tightens and tones your body, and it's just really, really great aerobic exercise. And the Bellicon is made with straps, these bungee cords instead of springs, so it's silent and they have a warranty on it. It's the best rebounder on the market today. So if you're in the market for one, I would highly recommend just saving up and getting the Bellicon, because there's no other rebounder on the market that's better than this thing. I firmly believe that. So if you're interested in it, check it out, extremehealthradio.com/Bellicon. That's B as in boy, ELLICON. And you can learn more about it and watch the videos on that page too. So thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy your rebounder, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
100% listener supported. Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide.
Don't forget to join our thriving community for health tips, inspiration, and show updates
At extremehealthradio.com/Facebook.
Tallahatchie, Tallahatchie,
good time here with Chris Kehler.
Yes, we are. I love it.
I love just off the wall stuff. I love this stuff that's just really out there.
I do.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of people are going to be very interested in that.
Yeah. I want to get more into some of the stuff we're talking about before the break, but I think during the break, you had a question for Chris, I think.
Oh, yeah, Chris, I was just thinking about all this. Like, what... Because I know you said before the show you've had, many different types of careers and jobs and things like that. What was like either the first book you read or the first real experience you had, and how did you get trained in this stuff? Or did you have a mentor, or did you study on your own, or how did you even get into this?
Well, it's basically all the above. My story is it was about 7 years ago. My first wife passed away. She had a rare disease called scleroderma. During that time, I was in the printing industry for about 28 years. That was my career. That was my profession. I was really good at it. I loved it. And when she passed away, my financial planner said, "Chris, look at your portfolio. Take some time off." So I did. And the old saying goes, one door closes, another door opens. A friend of mine was telling me about some alternative stuff that she was doing to help her fibromyalgia, and she suggested I do a foot bath detox because I've been in the printing industry and I'm full of toxins and that type of thing. And I just said, "Yeah, whatever, shut up and get me another beer," right? So one day I'm walking in one of my malls in my area, and I see a sign outside a store, and it said foot bath detox. I looked at that sign and says, I think I'm supposed to go in there. Something pushed me in that door. Seriously. Went in, I did a few of them and talked to the guy who runs the place. And we kind of started a dialogue. Went a few times for foot baths, and he started showing me some alternative methods of finding a health problem called muscle testing. It's called Shote muscle testing. And I just started to get to know this guy, and apparently there's somebody in my area that teaches a course on it. So I thought, this is kind of interesting. I haven't got nothing better to do. Might as well take the course. So I just knew it was something I had to do. It was not even thinking about it. I just did it. And as I progressed training with this guy and doing the course, I met other people in this industry, let's call it, of alternative healthcare. I met somebody in Alberta who works with radionics, which is working with frequencies. It's the old opera singer and wine glass scenario, working with frequencies. I met him, and I had to have one of his machines, so I bought it. Took some training there, and then I found a live blood analysis microscope for sale from a friend. I bought that, and I took a course on how to do dowsing with a pendulum, and I learned how to do that all within about a year. Okay, this happened really fast. So I was basically fast-tracked through this system to get to where I am now, because there is a lot of things happening in the universe starting tomorrow that are going to cause some huge changes in the way we see, think, and do things. So basically, that's it. And as far as reading, I don't read anything. As far as following anybody, I don't follow anybody. I rely on my heart. I rely on my pendulum to give me all the answers I need, and I've developed my whole system on my own. I've taken some, cherry-picked a few good things out of some courses I've taken, to enhance things. If something doesn't resonate with me, I don't look at it. There's so many different ways out there to work with energy and to change things within the body. It's all a matter of what works for you. A lot of people introduce me to EFT and different types of energy work that way. And you know what? That's all good. If it works for you, great, wonderful. But for me, I have to rely on what I find myself.
So have you worked with any EFT yourself, or do you, what other types of energy work do you not practice?
I did take a course on quantum touch, which is a sister to Reiki, just so I can try and understand a little bit what's going on here, because all this stuff is flying at me. I'm able to do this healing, and I don't really understand it. So I was trying to get a hold of what's going on. Quantum touch is a really good modality, but the modality I'm doing, I feel, is much stronger, more efficient, and it gets a lot deeper into the body. So with quantum touch, you're just running intent, okay? When you're dowsing with it, then it brings it to a different level. When you're dowsing and using sacred geometry pyramids and that type of thing, it brings it to another level.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can you talk about dowsing a little bit and how that works?
Well, dowsing with a pendulum. Pendulum dowsing has been around for a gazillion years. I don't know if that's really a number or not. But,
Sounds good.
yeah, lots of people use a pendulum to ask questions and get answers. And basically the way it works is that we've all got spirit guides, okay? Whether you want them or not, we got spirit guides. And when you're swinging the pendulum, like I'm doing right now, and you ask it a question, and you have a chart in front of you and like a semicircle, and you've got different words on it, and you ask, whatever question it is, that pendulum's going to start to swing, and it's going to keep on pointing to a specific answer. And for me, I get confirmation when my pendulum swings once in a circular motion and it goes back to that same answer. That's when I know I'm on the right answer. Now, it's the right thing when you take that answer, apply it with the pyramids I use or your intent, and the health problem goes away. So you're on the money, okay?
Yeah.
It's something to it. Now, of course, I've been using a pendulum now. It's been got to be 5 years, so I do it every day. This is what I do for a living. So you get really, really acute with it. You get really in touch with your pendulum. For a lot of people, when they're dowsing with the pendulum, there's a thing called influence. So you could be thinking something, okay? Let's say there's 5 answers on a page, and you're thinking of one of those answers, it'll go there because you're influencing it. For me, because I've been doing it so long, I can't even influence it. So it goes straight to the answer.
So let's say, just go back to that question a little bit that a lady sent in. What's like pendulum versus Ouija board? What's the Ouija board all about then? Is it just energy moving around, or what's that about? The
Ouija board is just another form of a pendulum, let's say.
Okay.
But when you're using a Ouija board is designed and built to access dark forces.
Okay, so you do agree with that?
Yes, yes, 100%. All depends on what that tool or that way of getting an answer is designed for. Whoever designed it, built it, created it, is putting the intent within that tool to pull in dark and evil forces.
Wow, yeah. I've always, when that lady wrote in that question, I was curious too, because as a kid, you're always like, don't, stay away from Ouija boards. Don't mess with it. It's evil. And sometimes you wonder, is it just a game with a bunch of energy moving around, or is it actually have the intent of dark things?
It is real. You can bet it's real. And there's so many things out there that we do on a daily basis that can do the same thing. If you're looking at internet websites that got evil intent within them, you can draw that in. There's so many different things out there that with subliminal messages that come through, that if you're willing to watch those dark programs or dark
or video games,
sites,
any of that probably,
you're going to pull that in.
Wow.
Hey, Chris, so what do you think about the whole idea of, kind of relates to what we're just talking about now, is holding your space and protecting your space and protecting your soul, protecting your spirit, protecting your energetics, all of that, protecting that and really being aware of what we're exposed to. Because I feel like a lot of people will just watch any kind of movie. There's no real desire to protect our inner worlds of our soul and things like that. What do you think about that? Do you think people should take more care in what they're exposed to?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. What I do for myself is on a daily basis, I just invoke my guardian angels to protect me from any kind of negativity that's coming my way. And another thing you can do is you can envision that you are in a bubble with a mirror on the outside, so anything that comes towards you will reflect off. All this stuff is real. It does work. Your imagination and your intent are two very, very crucial items that you should be paying attention to and using for your benefit. If I go to bed at night and I don't invoke my guardian angels from all these beings that I'm always trying to destroy and remove from people, they'll come in and try and attack me. And I wake up with a huge headache, and they'll take different aspects of my aura and my chakra system, and they'll try and hide it in different dimensions so I can't do my work. So I wake up with this headache, oh, geez, I forgot to invoke my spirit guides and my guardian angels, and I have to go and find where they took my root chakra or my crown chakra and put it back.
So do you think that God is speaking to us? Because you said perhaps you walk by in the mall that day, you saw the foot bath healing thing. And do you think that God speaks to us kind of on a daily basis, just throughout the day with different experiences and words that people say and things like that? And it's up to us to figure out that's what's going on?
That's not so much God, in my opinion. It's more your spirit guides. Okay. It helps to know who your spirit guides are and what their intent is. For me, I know exactly who my spirit guides are. My biggest spirit guide is my father, who had passed away, 15 years ago. But they're the ones who are trying to direct you in the right direction for your best and highest good. Okay. Now we can also have dark spirit guides too. If you look at your spirit guide realm and your angel realm as a business, okay, and there's 500 people working in that business, well, 100 of them are people who just don't work well or play well with others, and they're always trying to disrupt things. You can have the same thing happening within your spirit guide realm. The old saying, below as above. Okay, so whatever's happening on 3D Earth right now is actually going on in the kingdom of heaven on different dimensions and different realms. There's always turmoil going on somewhere, somebody trying to upset the apple cart.
Interesting.
Wow.
Jennifer says, how does one know ahead of time if the energy work Chris does can be a good fit for them?
Basically, it's a good fit for everybody. What I always say is, if you're going to do something, let's take any kind of energy work. So let's say there's 5 different energy modalities that you have in front of you, and you're wondering, which one do I work with? Mm-hmm. What you want to do is feel or think with your heart. Okay, don't use logic. Just read each word out loud, and whatever one feels good within your heart or makes you feel good, that's the one you want to go with.
Okay, I like that. And she also has another question here. Exactly why is the pyramid healing on the human body?
Yeah, you know what? Sacred geometry is a huge part of it. So what is sacred geometry? Sacred geometry is shapes, okay, geometric shapes, and they all contain a certain type of energy. Okay, a circle with a cross within it is a specific energy. A lot of the rings that I have, Kate, I sent you one, they do specific things. And when you stand over that geometry, you actually feel something happening. So the geometry is really huge. The construction I've used with it to put various quartz crystals, which is a healing crystal, different magnets, different forms of geometry, just amplifies it. It really amplifies my intent. It amplifies the God energy that I'm drawing upon to do the healing. So, and when you can amplify it, then it goes into your body at a much, much deeper level. Let's say into the dark matter, into the cells, into the molecules, as deep as it needs to go. If you're using a weaker device, you're not going to go in as deep.
And the pyramid itself they call that a sacred shape, don't they? I mean, it's somehow drawing energy. I mean, there's a reason why they built them to look like that, right?
Exactly. There's a purpose to every shape and form, and pyramids. There's a lot of different speculation as to what they really are. Mm-hmm. And back in the day when pyramids were being built and being used, they were used as a power source to harness energy from the ley lines and to transmit the energy and that type of thing. Right now, all pyramids on the earth, and they find them everywhere, they're all relics. They don't operate anymore. They don't have any kind of purpose other than to wonder what the heck they are.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So, and she says one last question from Jennifer. How long do the effects last?
Forever. When you're using a strong tool, because you completely remove the problem in the body, whether it's a virus, a parasite, whatever, as soon as that virus and everything is gone, it doesn't come back. When you're using weaker tools, sometimes a problem will go away for a couple weeks and then it'll come back because you haven't completely removed, you haven't gotten to all the levels where the problem is.
So I've done some work with you, obviously. I have a question as far as how, I've had the experience, which I'm sure a lot of people do working with you, where your body is actually involuntarily swaying and moving, and it's quite a cool experience. It's really peaceful to me. What is happening? What kind of tool are you using, and how is that working?
Okay, so there's a few different tools I have. The first one I use is called a neutralization ring.
Okay.
And if you go onto my website, you can see a picture of one. I got two different sizes. One's a small little 7-inch one, and I got a much bigger one that I use. When you're pulling certain energies out of your body, it causes your body to sway and move and to feel heavy, and all these different things happen. That's energy leaving your body, and your body's readjusting and recalibrating at certain levels.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So that's that energetic ring is built on sacred geometry as well, right?
Yes, it is.
Well, I have to tell a quick story what happened with my ring last night. I haven't been able to tell Chris. So, Chris, you sent me the ring in the mail, and I thought this is so cool. Yesterday I had a session with you. Chris said that, told me basically how to use it. And I just finished a 6-day juice cleanse yesterday, and the second to last day I did one of those coffee enemas for the first time, trying to just, overall pull some stuff out of my body. Well, I feel like it really disrupted my system. I was in a lot of abdominal pain. I wasn't feeling good yesterday in the later afternoon. So last night I'm getting ready to take a shower. I go in the shower. The pain in my stomach became so bad. I told you, Justin, I got out of the shower. I'm like, I can't even take a shower. I just have to go lay down flat because I'm so messed up from this thing. So I'm like, I'm going to go get that ring. So I went and grabbed the ring, Chris, and I literally used it like you told me to, and placed it above and stood above it and all this stuff. I'm not kidding. Within 5 minutes, I was like a different person, walking around, trying to do dishes. It left my body. It was the probably second strangest experience I've ever had.
Wow.
The rings are incredible tools.
That is a very high testament, because I just got it the day before in the mail, and here's my very first experience with this thing. So I couldn't wait to share that with you and tell you, I'm sure you've heard a lot of experiences similar, I'm sure, right?
Every day.
It's incredible. So people can get those on your website, correct?
You can get them from my website. What I recommend for people to do is, if they're interested in any tools I have on my website or whatever, give me a call and I'll dowse to see what tool is best for you. We can talk about it a bit. And I'm not going to charge you for that, of course. I'm just going to send you the product and you're going to enjoy it. But ultimately, if you just want to order it, yeah, sure, send me an email and I'll send you one. But if you want to know what tool is best for you, I'll be happy to talk to you and lead you in the right direction.
Awesome.
This is interesting. Yeah, we're going to take a little short break here we're with Chris Kehler, and if you want to check out those rings we're talking about, he's got one called the Sun Ring that I want to ask him about after the break. His website again is Chris Kehler, KEHLER.net, and you can learn more about what he's up to and the wacky, crazy products he's got. All these pyramids that work. So check out his website, and we'll be right back with Chris Kehler after this break. So there's no real way to avoid toxins or chemicals in our daily life. It seems like we're exposed to them no matter what we do in our lives, from paint fumes to mercury fillings, coal-fired plants, perfumes, soaps, off-gassing of carpets in our houses, and genetically modified foods, and foods that are sprayed with pesticides and herbicides, the xenoestrogens in plastics and car exhaust, secondhand smoke, even your dry cleaning and laundry detergents, even your mattresses have chemicals inside them that outgas. So getting these toxins and chemicals and poisons out of your bloodstream and out of your fat cells is going to be really critical moving forward in our society, because it seems like every year there's more and more chemicals that keep becoming introduced with new products in the market. So I would consider getting one of these far infrared saunas. We've got a great sauna developed by Phil Wilson, and I've known about his work for many years, and I'm so proud to be offering his sauna on our website. And he's been in this business since 1975. And this sauna is really great because it slows the aging process. It helps with weight loss and burning calories. I think you can burn 600 calories in 15 or 20 minutes, and it helps to cleanse the skin. It improves your sleep and helps to prevent illnesses like flus and colds, as well as energizing the body. And it's great for improving blood circulation and promoting cellular renewal, as well as increasing metabolism and inducing profuse sweating. And it's really great. And the great thing is you don't produce any lactic acid, so you can sweat without producing any of this lactic acid that you would normally produce if you lifted weights or went for a big long run. So if you're interested in this, you can check it out, extremehealthradio.com/sauna. It's great because it sets up in about 2 to 5 minutes, and it's portable and it's super easy to clean. It's got low electromagnetic field radiation coming off of it. and it produces energy and heat inside the sauna evenly. It's great machine. So if you're interested in sweating like this for only 15 minutes a day, it's great. It requires zero preheating. It's got a 1-year warranty, and Phil Wilson is a great guy. We're so proud to be offering his saunas on our website. So if you're interested, check it out, extremehealthradio.com/sauna, or you could check it out in our store, and it's $990 plus $25 shipping. And that's really a good deal because many of the saunas out there, you can check them out. They're in the thousands of dollars, $2,000 to $4,000. So this is great. You can buy it through PayPal. You don't even need a PayPal account. It's 100% secure. So consider doing this if you're interested in living a long, healthy, disease-free life. So check it out, extremehealthradio.com/sauna.
All free shows, all the time on Extreme Health Radio.
Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide.
Join our community today.
Sign up to our email list and instantly get our free gift to you, along with loads of inspirational content and cutting-edge tips to help change your life.
At extremehealthradio.com/subscribe.
All right, I'm a little out of breath here. I just got off the rebounder. I was going to say sauna, but I didn't get in the sauna during that break.
That wouldn't give you enough time.
That wouldn't be. No, but guys, if you can check out all the commercials and the products that we are promoting, that's a way to help support us too. And these are really, really great products. The sauna is just amazing. I'm looking at it right now, and the rebounder and all of that stuff. So make sure to visit those links that I talk about in the commercials, because without your support and those products and things like that, we'd have to charge for the show, which we do not want to do. So make sure to check out those products. And I just had a glass of water with Chris's neutralization ring sitting underneath it.
Yes, you did.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hopefully water doesn't affect it. We'll find out.
No, it's good. And so, Chris, we have a listener question here from a friend of ours who's dealing with arthritis at the moment. And so I wanted to go ahead and play that really quickly and have you listen to that. So let me cue up this audio message from our friend Christy.
Okay.
Hi, this message is for Chris Kehler. This is Christy Crandall. I'm a good friend of Kate and Justin's. I have rheumatoid arthritis and was diagnosed about 2 years ago with it. I have tried all these natural treatments, unfortunately without any luck. I've done a vegan diet, vegetarian diet. Now I'm on the paleo diet. I've done 10-day juice fasts, 15 treatments of hyperbaric oxygen chamber, 15,000 milligrams of MSM intravenously, various FSM treatments, as well as various natural supplements, all of which nothing has worked for me, unfortunately. I became very acute and had a very, very bad flare-up, and so my doctor, who is a naturopathic doctor, had put me on 5 milligrams of prednisone, sulfasalazine, and now Humira, all of which I really did not want to go on, but I really had no choice at the time. So my question to you is, how would you treat somebody, in my case, someone who prefers not to do the traditional medicine way but feels they have no other alternative? My goal is to get off of these drugs completely, if I can find something, a natural cure for it. So my question again is, how would you treat someone in my case?
Okay, were you able to hear that, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. Now, just to reiterate a little bit, my first wife had scleroderma, which is rheumatoid arthritis. So I feel exactly what you're going through. Can't be a lot of fun. Now, this is actually a rather easy one. Lyme disease is probably a very big consideration. Uric acid crystals can be involved, so there could be a problem with the urinary system. Of course, there's going to be some kind of negative spirits within there, some clearing that has to do in that realm. It could also be parasites. But I'm going to say that cases like this are generally going to be Lyme disease. Now, there's a few different ways to deal with Lyme disease. One isn't so nice. There's a herb that you can buy. It's a Hannah Kroger herb. Everybody knows about Hannah Kroger. She's done a lot of work in alternatives and doing a lot of research. The herb is called SPK, which is short for spirochete, which is what the Lyme bacteria is. This herb will kill off the bacteria, but the bad thing is that the toxins that are given off by that bacteria are actually worse than the disease. So you have to go through this big healing crisis in order to get through it. Another way, the best way I feel, and I'm not being biased at all, is to work with energy. Find out where the Lyme is, kill it with energy, move it out, and things start to get better. Nutrition is very important also. You have to look, is there enough sulfur in your diet? Are you sulfur deficient? Sulfur is very, very crucial for creating synovial fluid within your joints. That's the lubricant. So there is a few different ways that I would look. Of course, I would use my pendulum and find out within a 99% accuracy rate exactly what it is, treat it, and move on to the next client.
Wow. Now, how would that work in her case as far as safety of getting off those meds and things? Is this a cold turkey thing, or do you implement the energies first and then it's safe to retreat from some of that? Or
ultimately, I can't, legally, morally, I can't comment on somebody taking pharmaceuticals. But if it was me, I would wean myself off, especially the prednisone. I'm not I don't have any kind of really big knowledge about prednisone, but I'll tell you from my wife's experience, my first wife's experience, that is ultimately what got her, is taking the prednisone for about 5 years, and she had a huge heart attack in my arms. It wasn't so much the rheumatoid arthritis that got her, but it was more what I believe is the prednisone. So that is something that you don't want to take on an ongoing basis. The prednisone is going to help to relieve the inflammation, so it helps the pain. Of course, you want to do things to get rid of pain, so that's what you do. But as we start doing the work, you monitor how your body feels, and then you talk to your doctor and say, I'm feeling better. Can we get off these medications?
Okay.
Do you have any references, if you don't mind giving any out for that product you mentioned, for the herbs?
Just do a Google search on SPK.
Okay.
You should find it in a lot of different places. Or there's probably a few others, but that's the only one that I found that, and that's the one I kind of carry in my clinic. We'll talk about Lyme disease for a second. I know quite a bit about it because there's a client of mine who had it so badly she couldn't get out of bed. She found that product, and she was able to finally start to function by taking that product. So when she went to university, she did her university thesis on Lyme disease, did all this research on it. She came to my office and shared the thesis with me. And the stuff that she found with Lyme disease is just unbelievable. And there is a lot of information out there if you dig around the internet about Lyme disease. It can mimic 250 different diseases and illnesses. That's why I really consider Lyme disease a lot when I'm working with anybody, just because it can mimic things. And for most doctors, they won't even consider Lyme disease. I've had clients go to their doctor and say, I've got the bullseye rash, I got all these symptoms, I have Lyme disease, and the doctor will say, you can't have Lyme disease. There's no Lyme disease in Manitoba. You've got fibromyalgia. You need to take these pills. So I really got a respect for it, and I know what to look for.
Okay, good.
So those things are called spirochetes. Is that what you said? Those little, yes. Are they like?
If you see the bacteria in a live blood analysis, the bacteria looks like a corkscrew. And what it does is it starts to corkscrew into your muscles, into your cartilage, into your bones, into your brain, into your nervous system. And that's where a lot of the pain comes from, is this corkscrew action.
Wow. And so now if someone were to do herbs like that, that would be kind of on a physical level. And then the work that you do is on an energetic level. So what are some things that people, because there might be a lot of people listening that have Lyme disease in the form of arthritis or other conditions.
Right.
So each case would be individual, I guess, wouldn't it?
Everybody is individual. If you've got rheumatoid arthritis, if you take 5 people in a room with rheumatoid arthritis, they can all have it for 5 different reasons. You have to look at that aspect of things. You can't just treat everybody the same. That's where the medical community fails when they try to find a cure for everyone's cancer at once. You just can't do that.
Yeah, no, I think that's and that's just their way of doing it. And then they can, like you said, just prescribe someone some pills and There they go.
Off you go. Yeah.
Sure. Be happy and go home. Yeah.
What do typical doctors think of you? Have you had any interactions with?
I've actually had a few doctors in my office, and their question is, how did you do it? They have a patient who's got this extreme problem, and then all of a sudden the problem's gone. They're like, how did you do it? What's going on here? I've had psychiatrists in asking me about my work because number one, they're interested. Number two, they just want to know what's going on. How come their clients their patients are coming in and all of a sudden they're off their medications?
Do they respond positively to your answers, or are they just, I mean, they're smart people in general, doctors, so do they understand this on any level, or are they just like, I don't know, I think it's weird?
They know that there is a lot of different alternative modalities that work, okay? Nutrition, doctors do not talk about nutrition. So they know that if you're on the right diet, things can make a difference, like a gluten-free diet and that type of thing. But most doctors aren't going to tell you to do that. Mm-hmm. They know that there are things like EFT and quantum touch and all these things that are out there, and they get results. But some of them just want to, because they've seen such a drastic result so fast, they just want to research it and see what the heck is happening.
What do you make of the EFT and the tapping and all that kind of stuff? Is that similar to what you do, just a little bit different, or what is that stuff?
It's just another way to cook a potato. There's so many ways to cook a potato, but EFT is working at an energetic level. You're not convincing your body that the problem is gone. You're actually working with your body to eliminate the problem. And if you're tapping on certain energy points in your body, it can make a difference. Quite often, I'll be laying in bed watching some TV, and all of a sudden I notice that my right hand is tapping on my thymus gland. Just subconscious. I look down, it's like, I'm tapping on my thymus gland.
Wow.
Why is that happening? Because your body wants you to do it. Okay? It's really weird. And what's it doing? I don't know, but for some reason, I just need to be tapping on my thymus gland.
Wow.
What about other energetic modalities like the 5 rites and the Qigong and things? Do you personally do any of those kind of practices?
The only thing I do is the work that I do.
Okay.
I'll go to the gym and lift some weights. Other than that, I just believe so strongly in the work that I am doing that I just, I have to keep practicing it. And what better person to try things out on than yourself? So,
isn't it amazing how
true.
you're talking about earlier, how you just kind of felt as you're going throughout your life and after your first wife passed that these kind of doors just opened up to you, and I bet it kind of felt like to you that it wasn't even a choice that you were going to do this. It was just kind of like, okay, this is just what I have to do. And, people wondering what they should do in their life, what's my life work and that kind of thing. When you find it, I think you feel like that, don't you?
It was completely amazing, and I still get up in the morning and pinch myself because of what's going on. When I started doing all this, I had no clue where it was going to take me or what was going to happen. I just thought it was kind of cool and different, and I just felt this real urge to carry on with it. When I left my house, the office in my house, and opened up an office in a clinic, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing? Am I setting myself up for failure? You got overhead now. You've got a half-hour drive back and forth to the office every day. But you know what? I just kept on plugging. There was days I would sit here for days on end with no phone ringing, nobody in the office, but I just came in every day because I just had to. I just believed in it, and I knew that there was something to it. There was something bigger down the road for me, and it's all starting to make sense now in a big, big way.
I love it, and there's nothing better than helping people, and we're doing it sort of on a platform, on a stage, and you're helping people individually, and it just feels really, really good, doesn't it?
You have no idea how good it feels when somebody calls you and says, Chris, you cured my daughter. My 8-year-old daughter now is a happy person. When somebody brings in a 1.5-year-old baby with a rash all over their body, you do a little bit of work, and the mother calls you crying her eyes out that she's so happy that her baby is no longer in discomfort, that is just unbelievable.
I know, it feels so good. So what about moving on to the aura and things like that? When you look at, raw food, when I originally got into raw food, you can take these pictures of bananas and broccoli and you see the Kirlian photography and you see this thing coming off of it, this energetic field coming off of raw food. And then later on, I learned about how our heart creates a field, a magnetic and electric field around itself. And what is going on with the aura and this energy field that seems to be coming off of our physical body?
Well, that's our energy. The aura contains many different layers of energy and bodies that facilitate different things. Here's the best way to explain it. Now, a lot of people can see auras. I might see colors. I think for most people, you can see them. You just don't know what you're seeing. Mm-hmm. So if you have somebody standing against a white wall and just kind of look past their body, you might see kind of a shimmer or a transparent, translucent image, like a half inch off of the body kind of thing. The way I like to describe how the aura works and what it's all about is there's one body that I work with in particularly. It's called the etheric template. And what the etheric template is, it's a blueprint of your body. So everything that's within your physical body is contained within that part of the aura. And that's what your physical body works off of, the etheric template. So let's look at phantom pain. Somebody gets their leg cut off, but their foot still hurts. We've all kind of heard about that and kind of wondered what's going on, and we come up with different scenarios. But what is actually happening is that foot and that leg still exists within the etheric template, so your body still thinks it's there. So it's going to register that there's pain because at one time there was pain. So that is how I like to describe what exactly is happening within the aura. With the phantom pain scenario is a real home hitter for a lot of people. It makes people open their eyes as to what it really is.
Yeah, because a lot of people kind of need an example like that to really put it all together in their mind, don't they?
Yeah, and what I like to use for an example for the chakra system is there's 7 to 13 different balls of energy within your body that is the battery for the aura. So we've all had heartbreak where you end a relationship or somebody dies and you feel this tightness in your chest, this pain, this hurt within your chest. That's your heart chakra closing right up to protect itself so it doesn't get hurt again. And that's the best way I like to use to describe exactly what the chakra system is.
So it's interesting that you say that because we had a couple guests, Don and Carol Croft, who created the zappers that we use to kill parasites, and they were talking about the etheric template as well. And then we had Dr. Bob Marshall, who talked about the energy field around the body. And he was talking, but it was interesting, he was talking about how the body somehow communicates with this field faster than light. And this field that surrounds our body is the way in which we actually gain and keep our health. And I just thought that was really interesting. And you're probably finding some of that as well, huh?
Well, absolutely. When you work within the physical body, you also have to work within the etheric body. Now, quite often, let's say in the case of cancer, it's going to be in the etheric body first, in the etheric template, and then it manifests into the physical. So if you can catch it before it manifests, the person's not going to get cancer created within their bodies with tumors and the whole bit. So if you catch it in the etheric bodies, then it just goes away and it doesn't manifest.
So is the etheric body, you said that connects to the chakras, right?
Yeah, the entire aura is connected to the chakra system.
Okay, so is there a difference between the aura and the etheric template, or no?
No, the aura is, I call it the house where all the bodies are stored in.
Okay, and then the chakras are actually inside the body.
Yeah, there's chakras inside the body, and there's also ones that are outside the body. For instance, there's the zero chakra, or some people call it the 15th or 16th chakra, which is located 1 foot below your feet. That's a grounding chakra.
Interesting. And then is there one above your head as well?
Yeah, there's a few different opinions of exactly what the chakra system consists of, but there's one on top of your head, that's the crown chakra, and then there's about 4 or 5, maybe 7, or even 1,000, who knows, that are above your head that connect to the astral realms of the universe to bring in energies.
So if someone were sick, would their aura be somehow damaged or depleted or something?
Yeah, if there's a physical problem, and it's a chronic physical problem, there's going to be something in the aura that needs to be adjusted. There's also bodies like the mental body, which controls the way you think. So your belief system could be at hand. There's the emotional body, of course. There's, I work with about 40 different bodies within your aura that could be affecting your health.
Do we have any idea how negative experiences or negative people or watching things on TV that may be negative or fearful, do we have any idea how those affect the aura?
Well, like I said before, if you're watching something negative and you absorb it, then it's going to now start to work on you. It's going to cause changes in your vibration at a negative level.
What's interesting is this kind of thing. I mean, they say that you remember everything you've ever heard and anything you've spoken and anything you've ever seen. And I wonder if you're sitting there watching the news at night, even if it's 20 years ago before we all kind of woke up to this stuff, if that stuff's still affecting our aura.
Yeah, you know what? If it's something that you really took notice of, that memory is going to stay within you, of course, and it could keep replaying itself in the background, just like a computer program that plays in the background all the time.
What about the stuff we're not aware of our births and things like that?
I do work with a lot of people with birth trauma. You have to consider that a baby's moving from the womb to an outside world. There's going to be a lot of trauma happening there.
Right.
And if there was an incident where, let's say, the cord was wrapped around the neck, or the baby didn't breathe for a certain amount of time, that is trauma, and that can affect your whole life in different ways. So there's a memory of that. There's shock. There's trauma, and if it affects, let's say, the mental body and your aura, it's going to affect the way that you think on a certain level.
What do you do with the people? I've talked to a few people and heard a few other interviews on different stations about people recreating a more positive birth. Is that even something that would be, once you clear it, is that something that would not need to be done in those cases then?
That's generally what I find. When I work with emotions, everything is an emotion. We're emotional beings. So what a lot of people will do is they'll go to somebody and they make you relive that emotion. When you're working with energy, you don't have to relive the whole emotion. You don't have to be reborn. It just cancels out that negative vibration and things get better. You may still have the memory a little bit, but you're always going to have that, but it's just not going to affect your body at those levels.
So I suspect there's probably a lot of things going on, I think, with people in their birth traumas, because I suspect a lot of people are having lots of traumas as their birth, because a lot of things we wouldn't consider to be traumatic, I think, are. And just because the baby doesn't remember that or those types of things probably get solidified within their field or their aura, I would think.
Yeah, things are put in the subconscious mind, and like I said, they keep running in the background. And because it's an issue that isn't dealt with, it becomes enhanced every day that you don't deal with it. Let's say we're working with energy or seeing a psychologist or something to deal with the problem, it gets worse and worse and worse. It's just like a bacteria growing and growing and growing.
Do you think if people are curious if they've had birth traumas, could they contact someone like you if, let's say, their mother or their father are no longer living, and they're not able to ask about their birth process? Do you think
or they don't get an honest answer?
That's easy enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you would be able to work with them on that.
Oh, 100%. That's that is an energy issue, and that's certainly not a problem to work with. With my pendulum, I found that I could even talk to people who have crossed over to the light. So if your parents are passed away, I can talk to them. I talk with my mom and dad every day, and it's wonderful.
Wow.
That's interesting. Golly.
Wow, that pendulum, man.
So there's really no end, to what you can work with in terms of, physical conditions, but all kinds of other things, emotional stuff we're talking about, everything.
I'm finding that, day to day, I'm finding more and more things that I can work with. I'm learning about my limitations and my unlimitations with the pendulum and the work that I'm doing. It's just amazing. I got to tell you, it's amazing.
What are the limitations, or what are some that you found with the pendulum?
I haven't found, I can't say I really found any limitations yet. The only limitations I found is I had somebody in yesterday and he injured his knee and the cartilage was torn away from the bone. Well, that I can't fix in a relatively quick manner, but as far as a pendulum goes, now I've got carte blanche. I can ask anybody anything. Today I talked to Archangel Michael, okay? Today I talked to my healing angel Raphael, and they give me messages. They give me information, what I need to know. I talk with Nikola Tesla, and he's helping with my radionic device to make it more powerful. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing because Nikola Tesla was just a pure genius, and his photographic memory, what happens to that when he dies,
He's still there, and funny enough, I invoked him about 3 years ago as one of my spirit guides, and now he's starting to show up to giving me assistance. So that's been pretty cool.
Wow.
That is just amazing.
So I have a question too. As far as when you've done some work with me on the DNA level, what is going on with that?
Well, when it comes to things like the DNA, chromosomes, and all that, you have to what I do is I visualize. So, and I put it into some kind of perspective. So I look at the DNA as a computer program for your body. Okay. So all the chromosomes are programmed to do specific things and certain things. So just like your computer, if there's a virus, it's not going to work properly. It's going to work slow. There's going to be things going on. So if you understand how certain things work, at the scientific level too. In the DNA is part of your cell structure. As your cells replicate and create new cells, if there's a problem that attaches to the chromosomes in your DNA, that is going to replicate also. So you have to go right down to the DNA level sometimes to remove a virus, to remove this or that, the other thing, in order so it doesn't replicate.
And sometimes things can be passed down generationally, you think, through DNA?
Well, of course, if you think about it, if your mom has a virus or something in her DNA, when you're conceived, you got part of her DNA, so that virus transfers to you. So when they say something runs in the family, it's more so something replicates in the family.
What do you think is going on with the birthing process in terms of things running through the bloodline and the genetics of a family? What other things outside of traditional doctors do you think are past generalization? How do you say
Generalization?
that? Generationally, yeah.
Generationally. Well, that's a pretty big question, Justin. Let's see what's the best way to put that. You've got belief systems. You've got personality traits that are passed along. There's now here's one big aspect that you can look at. So let's say that all these different entities and spirits and negative things. Let's go deep into this, okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
The 15th dimension, okay? We're in the 3rd dimension right now. The 5th is coming tomorrow. The 15th dimension is a dimension that was made in order for certain beings like gods like Zeus and Isis and all these different European gods to enjoy our company, so they can manipulate us within that dimension. Now, for everybody who comes into my office, the first thing I do is I pull their etheric template out of the 15th dimension. If that etheric template is in the 15th dimension, now all these beings can manipulate us, and they can put all these different programs in our body for something to take place on a genetic basis. Wow. Okay, that's kind of what I look at in one specific way, and of course there's just natural progression where certain energies can just keep repeating, which is part of your profile, part of your personality, part of your family tree, your family traits, and that type of thing.
So why are these other entities trying to interact with our etheric template?
Well, there's a few scenarios that are thrown around. And one of my mentors, the guy who does make most of my tools, he said it best. He says, we are part of a game. Okay, why are we on this planet? What's going on? We're part of a game. So that these higher dimensional beings can enjoy manipulating us. Okay, that's one way to look at it. I'm sure there's a lot of people going, yeah, you know what, that guy is right. There's a lot of people who disagree with me, but you have to consider that. Okay, and just because of the work that I'm doing and the areas that I go into, and it makes a difference, I know that. Okay, there's definitely some truth to that. We're also a scientific experiment, so they will add stuff to our DNA at the etheric level to see what kind of changes are made. There's a lot of different philosophies and scenarios about why we're here and what goes on. But generally that's what I come up with, and that's what I work with, and that's what helps.
It's so crazy. Yeah. So how do you know that it's in that 15th dimension? That's such a weird concept to most people.
Well, I ask my pendulum, what dimension is this person's etheric template in? If it says third dimension, I know there's not a problem. If it says 15th dimension, I know what's going on. Sometimes that etheric template is split, so half of it will be in the 15th dimension, another half, let's say, in the 10th dimension. And you have to bring it back in, put it back in the person's body. And then what that does for me most of all is it allows me to read the person's body a lot cleaner, so I don't get any kind of disruption, because all the energy is in one vessel now instead of split off into different dimensions.
So what happens tomorrow with this dimensional shift you're talking about?
Well, there's a lot of people who know about the fifth dimensional shift, okay? It's something that's been anticipated since the beginning of our solar system. The whole December 21st, 2012 scenario, everybody thought the world was going to end. That was basically just an energy shift, okay? You take dates like, let's say, 11/11/11, 12/12/12. All those days are actually activation dates for certain energies to raise within the earth. To go into the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is a higher level of consciousness. So what's that's going to do for a lot of people? What it's doing for me particularly, it's allowing me to venture further into my work, to find more problems, to understand more things, for more things to come to light, in order for me to work at deeper levels and actually cure people with severe MS and cerebral palsy and afflictions like that. So the whole fifth dimension thing is coming. How do I know this? I know people in high places. One of my friends and colleagues is actually a gatekeeper who opens stargates. I'm going off the deep end here, and a lot of people are going to start rolling their eyes even more. What she does is she opens up stargates. So what she did, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, her energy was in the constellation of Sirius. She opened up a stargate, which enables the Earth to go into its fifth dimension state of consciousness.
Wow, that's interesting. I've heard of those stargates. There's some in the Middle East, and then there's one off the coast of Yemen that I've heard about. These things are people have been talking about these things.
Well, if you look at the sun is not just a heat and energy source. The sun is also a large stargate.
And so what is the stargate itself? Does that allow for certain things to happen, or what is that?
The stargate allows higher dimensional beings to go from one dimension to another.
Interesting. Yeah, I've heard of these things. There's a few of them around the earth, and I believe off the coast of Yemen, there's all kinds of battleships that are there that are allegedly protecting this thing that's a few miles off the coast of Yemen. And have you heard that too?
Oh yeah, I've heard lots. There's so much more out there than what we even can perceive.
Wow, that's crazy. So, go ahead, Kate.
Oh no, go ahead, and then I'll ask.
No, I was just going to say, are there any tools that you have that are more powerful than others, or do you see yourself getting more of these tools like the sun ring and all these types of things?
Well, the latest tool that I've got the Sun Ring, and I got a larger version of the Sun Ring. But the latest tool I got, and it's not even one we sell because it's so powerful. It's called a Vesica Pisces, and it kind of looks like a football with a triangle within it. And actually, we're going to use this tool, and we're going to send this energy out. What the purpose of this tool is to prepare a person's body to go into the fifth dimension consciousness.
Wow, and how does it prepare someone's body to do that?
It just adjusts your frequency so that you can, because the fifth dimension consciousness is such a higher frequency, it raises the frequency in your body to match that. So that if you do go into that fifth dimension consciousness in a 3D body, you're going to feel really sick. You're going to get dizzy. There could be all kinds of disruption happening that you don't know what's going on.
Wow. So all of these issues that people have in their body, I would imagine they just kind of resonate at really low frequencies or for low vibratory patterns and things.
That's what it's all about, yeah.
And so the work that you do actually helps people to vibrate and resonate at a higher frequency too.
That's right. If you look at an illness, okay, an illness is a lower vibrating frequency in your body. So by raising the vibration, clearing out the area of the stressor, the virus, or whatever it is, now your body, that area can resonate and harmonize with the rest of your body at a higher rate.
Wow. So what are some ways that you think of that, people can prevent these things from coming in? Because a lot of times with diet and nutrition, you say, okay, well, don't eat, Twinkies or don't eat processed food.
Yeah.
Gluten is pretty easy. What are some ways that people can protect themselves or prevent this kind of stuff from happening to them in their lives?
Okay, two specific ways that I work with. Okay, number one is always going to be nutrition. Making sure that the mineral components and vitamin components in your body are at the optimum levels and they're balanced. Okay, that's number one. That way there's going to be no low vibrating areas in your body. Okay, so that way if there is a low vibrating area, if a negative entity gets into your body, it's going to go to that low vibrating area. Okay, and it's going to keep it low. Another way is the neutralization ring. By always removing negative energy from your body, it's going to keep your body at a high vibrating rate. The more you do it, the higher you vibrate.
Interesting. Wow. Do you think that minerals somehow on an energetic level communicate with your etheric body and your aura and things?
Yeah, they do. If you look at the two minerals that I carry, platinum and gold, they do work at a vibrating etheric level. Now, if you look at the tools I have, the pyramids and the Vesica Pisces I have, they're all coated in pure gold. Okay, the neutralization rings are coated in pure platinum. They vibrate at an astral level, so they do work in that realm. So if you put those minerals in your body is going to start to resonate at those levels.
Do you think it's good for people to wear gold and things like
sure.
as jewelry?
There's a lot of different thoughts about that. If you have gold caps or gold fillings, that could cause an issue within your nervous system called dental proprioception, where it affects the proprioceptive nerve, and it can cause a few different health problems. But what I say always is if you want to wear some jewelry, what resonates with you? Is it wearing gold? Is it wearing silver, platinum, white gold? What are you drawn to? And your body's going to pull those energies off of it.
Wow, this is just so good. We're going to take one more break. We're with Chris Kehler, and his website, if you're interested, is chriskehler.net. And we're going to talk about some emotional eating and
I have two more questions.
And some metabolism things and all this kind of good stuff. So thanks so much for joining the show, everyone. And we'll be right back with Chris Kehler after this short break. So this morning when I was making my green smoothie, I was finishing up going through the Healthy Baby Code program by Chris Kresser because my wife and I, Kate, are planning on having a child. And so we're doing a lot of detoxification and cleansing prior to conception. And this Healthy Baby Code, I was going through the final Q&A course or questionnaire that he had in audio format. And it's really, really good course. If you're looking to get pregnant or want to get pregnant, or if you're struggling with infertility issues, or if you have questions about how to have a home birth or a natural birth, these are all things that Chris Kresser covers in this Healthy Baby Code course. And you can check it out at extremehealthradio.com/babycode, or you could check it out in our store for more information. But it's really, really a great program, and I highly suggest any expecting mother to get this. He really lays it out how important having a healthy pregnancy is. It comes with 5.5 hours of video. It comes in audio as well. There's hundreds of pages of resources materials. There's ebooks and bonus files, and then meal plans and cheat sheets, so you can just basically follow along and take the right supplements and eat the right foods and avoid certain foods that he suggests. And it covers everything from autism to vaccinations to childhood diseases, how long to breastfeed, natural birthing principles, and all kinds of good stuff. And I really wish everyone would get a course like this before they get pregnant, because it's really, really cutting edge, and I feel like it's really going to help Kate and I have a healthier baby. So if you're interested in this, you can check it out at extremehealthradio.com/babycode, or you could check it out in our store. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's get back to this show.
100% listener supported. Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide.
Don't forget to join our thriving community for health tips, inspiration, and show updates
At extremehealthradio.com/Facebook.
All right, we're having a good time here with Chris Kehler from chriskehler.net, talking about a wide array of fascinating topics, where I feel like we could talk all day on this stuff. I think it's really important to dig deeper on it, if you're looking for real healing and to, go deeper than nutrition. And I think you can do that. And this is kind of all the stuff that Chris is talking about. And if you are listening to this and you're kind of doubting what he's saying and things like that, I think it's important to look at why. Why would you doubt him? Or just kind of look and see how we've all been programmed, how we've taken in thoughts from mass media and the culture and things. And, really just kind of allow yourself to have a little bit of an open mind to Chris's work. And I think it's rather fascinating. And Kate, during the break, you had a couple ideas, I think.
Yeah, Chris, I was thinking, Gloria, who's written me a few times, one of our listeners, probably a month or so ago, had an interesting experience that I read on one of our Free for All Friday shows about how she and her husband were listening to our first interview with you, probably a month or so after it was recorded, and they basically had sort of a healing going on in their lives with their specific illnesses. And
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that. So can you touch a little bit on how that, quote, mass healing goes about, and why that can even work after, if someone listens to that program? Is that always going to be the case years down the road with these people? And how does that work?
Well, when you're working with energy, the proper name of it is quantum energy, and this is God energy at work. Okay, so when I put out the intent to send out live photons. Now, the description of what a live photon is, if you go back in the day in the Bible when Christ was doing all these healings, touching people and healing them, he was using live photons. That's what I dowsed. That's what the pendulum told me. Use live photons. So you're using light particles charged with life. Okay, so when I take the pyramid, I hold it over the microphone and I shoot live photons through the system. It's going to anybody who is tuned into this frequency on the internet. It's going directly to everybody. So if your body chooses to receive these photons, they go into your body. You're just going to go in and go, okay, where do I need to work? Oh yeah, this guy's got sore knees. I'm going to go work on that. Oh, this lady's got tinnitus. I'm going to go fix that. So the consciousness of these live photons will sometimes go in and just do whatever they have to do. That's the intent I put out. Go in and heal whatever needs to be healed. It doesn't always work that way, But I think for this demonstration we did, that's what it wanted to do, is to show people that it can work. Now, the energy I put in, it stays within the server of the program. It's always going to be there. It's the intent. It sits there. Quite often, I send people emails. I'll charge the email with the energy, and all they do is put their hands on the computer, read the email, and they get the energy.
Wow.
It's all energy and intent. That's all it is.
So if someone were to come to you and they didn't believe what you're doing, if they didn't have the intent, do you think it would work for them? I mean, I don't know why they'd come to you in the first place if they didn't believe you, but...
Yeah, I've only had maybe 2 people who came in and said, okay, Chris, somebody said I got to come see you, do something. And, they may have got some kind of relief, but ultimately they're not going to admit it. If they're really not a believer, they may be able to block it if they're not a believer. Sometimes they need more than one session. So if they do one session and go, that didn't do anything, they're not going to come back again. So, ultimately, you're going to have some openness to it, at least a little bit, or a curiosity. Mm-hmm. If you come in and say, I was forced to be in here, well, you know what, then I don't want to see you, because there's a good chance it's going to work and you're not going to believe it, or it's just not going to work at all.
Because with all the quantum mechanics and string theory and all those experiments that they do with the photons and the slit experiment that they've done, where the photon would turn into a wave after it was a particle, and all these types of things, they finally realized that it was the intent of the observer that was able to change the experiment. So I would imagine that belief that you could heal, and the belief in what you're doing itself is having a dramatic change on the outcome.
It does have its relevance, of course. And then when a person does feel something happen or change, then that belief system opens up a lot wider. You can do more and more. So, of course, there's going to be some relevance to, do you believe it or not? Mm-hmm. You know what? My wife right now, she's still like, okay, whatever you say. And she believes it, but she's still not 100% with it, because she doesn't really understand it the way I do, of course. But the more I do with her, she's like, okay, it worked. All is good.
Yeah.
Wow. So do people, if you've dealt with someone and had a profound impact on their life in terms of healing, do they send a lot of people and become almost instant converts?
There is a lot of people who they get instant miraculous healing, and they're on the bandwagon. They're supporting me 100%, and they're trying to tell people about me. But ultimately, if a person isn't willing to listen or interested in it, a person is just preaching to nobody. So
right. Well, I wonder too. I got an email a while ago from that same listener, Gloria, and she was curious about how, if this could, and how could it work with animals with healing. Do you have any thoughts on that?
100%. Animals are living beings. I work on plants. I work on animals. I work on my grass at home. Anything that has energy, you find out if there's a blockage, move it out, and things just flourish. I work on animals all the time.
Do people bring their animals into you, or is that something they can do over the phone as well?
I've worked on a lot of animals in the office. The neat thing with animals is because there's really no doubt within their mind about things. They're just animals, and they're operating at a much higher level. Anyways, you look at cats. Cats can see spirits. Cats know spirits are in the room. You'll see a cat all of a sudden look up at the ceiling and freak out. Well, the cat knows there's a spirit there. But because there's no interference with the psyche with animals, I can work with a picture. If somebody emails me a picture, I just work on the computer screen with it and make the changes, and things happen. Or somebody puts the telephone right beside the pet, and they get the energy. So same way as working with a human, except there's a lot less blockages in the way with animals.
Well, here's a question. That's interesting, because I have a client, I was doing her hair a couple months ago, and she was talking about, I don't remember the woman's name, but some lady in LA that works specifically with animals, where you can, have your, basically ask any question, kind of heal some diseases and stuff. But she contacted this woman to ask if her dog actually wanted a friend, because she was considering getting a second dog. And it turned out in that case, the answer that she got was no, the dog was fine being, a lone dog with this couple. Do you do that kind of stuff as well? Not just like, can you read any kind of energy, or is it more healing?
We can do that, no problem. Basically, any question you want to ask within the subconscious or in the conscious mind can be obtained. It's not a problem at all.
Wow. This stuff is so fascinating.
Wow, it's so interesting. So do you still use your Rife machine, the one that you said you had earlier? So do you still use the Rife machine that you talked about earlier?
Yeah, I still use it's a radionic device / Rife machine, whatever you want to call it. What I use it for is charging wristbands. I found a really good supplier of really cool wristbands. So what I can do is I can put an energy within the wristband, and that can be used as your medicine on a homeopathic level. The biggest one I have is one for sleep. Lots of people have sleeping problems. I put different frequencies and energies within the wristband. When you wear it when you go to bed, you sleep like a baby. It helps about 90% of all people who wear it. If it doesn't work for you, that means you don't need it. You need something else. So that's what I really like using that machine for. Nikola Tesla has been helping me with that. He told me to build a coil to wrap around it and to enhance the energy, and it went from working at a 80 hertz level to a 50,000 hertz level. So that was a huge improvement.
Whoa! So how did you increase? You just the way you wrap the coil through it was different.
Yeah, he told me, he says, get a 2-foot piece of copper pipe and wrap 8-gauge copper around it, and then put one end into one end of the machine, the other end into the other end of the machine, and it's going to enhance the energy, and that's what it did.
Wow.
Does this kind of stuff, like when you talk about him speaking to you or telling you these things, is this happening in like an audible way or through the pendulum or through a vision?
It's all through the pendulum.
All through the pendulum.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he'll talk sentences. He'll spell it out a letter at a time, and they'll talk sentences to me exactly how to do things.
Wow.
Where do you, real quick, I know this might be off the subject, but where do you feel like he's residing? I mean, is it like in a heavenly realm, or is it just in like a spiritual, I mean, where do you think?
I really don't know exactly what the whole aspect of that is. Doesn't really matter.
Interesting.
Yeah, I might learn that someday. I don't know.
So what's going on with the shungite water stones that you have on your website?
Those are going really well. With the fifth dimension changes happening, the shungite is actually enhancing itself and becoming more of a healing modality in itself. With the shungite, you put a whole bunch of shungite in a water pitcher, let it sit a couple of days, drink the water. It's going to give nutrients to your body, all the different 98 different minerals, plus minerals we don't even know about. And it's also going to work in a capacity where it's going to absorb negative energies, viruses, and that type of thing out of your body, because shungite is like a carbon atom, so carbon is absorbing. So the shungite is actually absorbing itself. If you wear a shungite pendant, it's going to absorb EMF and ELF radiations that come off your computer, your fridge, all these different electrical appliances around us. So if people are sensitive to EMF and ELFs, this will help in a big way.
Yeah, I've heard they've been doing experiments with EMF, and like diabetics can actually have their blood sugar change as a result of being near a wall that has a lot of dirty electricity in it. So there's obviously something going on with these EMF things, and with cancer and cell phones and brain cancer and things. So what actually is shungite?
Well, shungite it's a stone. Some people call it a gem. It's a stone that's found only in one area in Russia. They call it the secret Russian stone, and I always say it's not a secret anymore now that I got my hands on it. But the testimonies have been that there's a lake in Russia where people go swimming where a lot of shungite is, and they come out of the lake after swimming 4 or 5, 10 times, whatever, and their health problems go away.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of research done on it, and it's really starting to pick up. It's the one YouTube video I have where I talk about shungite that gets the most hits because people are researching it a lot.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing. And you can put these things in water, and then the water, as a carrier of information, can carry this energetic frequency down to your cells and things like that.
That's right. Now, if you go a step further, if you have one of my energy tools, such as one of the beamers, the wands that I have, you take a glass of shungite water, hold the beamer to the water, and you give it intent. You say, let's say, heal my liver, heal my brain, remove my headache, and then you drink the water. The water is going to go in at an energetic level and do that.
Wow. Yeah. Because we're really just eating and drinking information, really, right?
That's right.
So if someone has some of these tools that I'm looking at your page here, the single pyramid, 7-inch, then you have a triple pyramid with the sun ring, these types of things, I guess they could contact you and learn how to use them and what they would use them for?
That's right. If you buy one of my tools, you become part of the club, and I'm going to help you in every way I can to make them work for you.
And what are some of the ways that people do use these things?
The pyramids are, the easiest way to use a pyramid is to hang it over your bed. Take a long fishing leader with a thumbtack, put it in your ceiling, and just hang it over your bed. And when you're sleeping, it's going to, start making small changes within your frequency and do some healing. You can use it just by holding it over your head and telling it what to do. Purify my aura. Whatever you tell it to do, whatever you feel needs to be done. If you use a pendulum like I do, you can find out exactly what you need to do with it and start making changes in your body.
That's it. So you were talking about intent and this kind of thing. Do you think it's pretty important to talk to your organs or talk to your food? Maybe that's the whole idea of praying before you eat a meal, and putting that intent into the food and telling the food what you want it to do in your body, or talking to your liver and saying good thoughts or things to your liver. I bet that has a pretty profound effect.
Now you're starting to get it, Justin.
So you can talk to your body and have it respond.
Talk, right? Ultimately, if you say that, just like talking to plants, let's go to a deeper level. Okay, so Dr. Emoto, he did this testing with water, okay, where he would take a glass of water, 2 glasses of water from the same source, and he would write on a piece of paper the word "you fool," which in Japanese is a very bad thing to say. So he'd put the glass of water on top of that. And then on the other glass of water, he'd write the word "love" and put the glass of water on top of that. So then after a couple days, he would take a drop of each water from each glass and freeze it. And then under an electron microscope, he would look at the crystal. And the crystal from the glass that said "you fool" looked ugly. The crystal from the glass that said "love" looked beautiful. So you give your body the right vibration of positive energy. Of course, your body is 80% water. It's going to vibrate at that energy.
So what do you think is going on? Like, I've had these little flat warts that I've gotten burned off on my hands, and they've just been there for years. They don't really grow, but they stay, and they keep coming back. Well, I've tried the whole talking to them, have the intent, and they just stay there. What do you think I'm doing wrong, or why do you think that would still be the case?
Well, like I said, there's many ways to boil the potato. It's whatever your body's going to need to get rid of those. It could. Sigmund Freud said it best. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Okay, so if they're just warts, is it viral? Is it parasitic? Is it actually a cyst or a wart? And then you might just have to work at it at that level.
So it doesn't mean that I don't believe in the process. It's just
that's right. It's just you don't need to do that for that particular issue.
Interesting.
You might have to change a word or something. I mean, the magic word, makes such a difference. When I'm doing my work, and if I say the right words in the right context, it makes a difference.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, wow, interesting.
I never thought about that.
So with people in their subconscious mind and things, do you find it difficult to work with people in terms of how they talk to themselves? Because so much of our subconscious mind, which basically runs our whole thought process throughout the day, we don't even know it, is negative talk, is thoughts of "I don't believe this or that," or I won't heal, or things that just kind of run subconsciously in the background. How can people change their subconscious mind to start thinking some of these positive thoughts, do you think?
I guess there's a lot of different ways. I mean, just if you're always thinking negative about things, when something's presented for you in front of you, and right away you try to pick out the negative things, if you try to think more positive, what's the positive of all this, and then just neutralize all the negative. Just say there's no negative within this; it's all positive. Just changing your mindset. Now, of course, you have to look and see what negative energy is in your subconscious that's causing you to think this way. So it could be some kind of dark entity in your mental body causing you to think this way all the time.
Golly, that's fascinating. So you do live blood cell analysis, and people can come into your location if they're near you and do like a foot bath, detox, and the radionics machine and all of that kind of stuff.
That's right. Yeah, within my office, the live blood analysis is really a really neat tool that complements the dowsing that I do. So if somebody comes in and they got a health problem and I dowse it, it says a parasite. Well, let's look at your blood and see if there's parasites. And sure enough, the blood is full of parasites. So there's a tangible way to look at things. There's the psychic way to look at things, and it really confirms that I know what I'm doing, and people feel real comfortable with doing the work.
So can people send you their samples of their blood and have you read it, or do they need to come in for that?
No, it has to be live from your finger. That unfortunately, that's the one thing I can't do on a broad global basis is the blood.
Okay, but you work with people all over the world with Skype, like you said.
All over the world. It's amazing the results that I do get. In the United States, you guys have to pay for health care. So instead of spending $50,000 to get a problem fixed, why not spend 50, right?
Yeah, it's a little cheaper.
And probably better results.
There's a lot of people who don't want to go the pharmaceutical route, and they want to do all natural. So those are people in Winnipeg who come see me. Now, Winnipeg is a real conservative town. For a business like this to be doing as well as it is, there has to be something to it, that's for sure.
Yeah. So if people don't have Skype, or maybe they don't have a Skype camera, can they still contact you?
Yeah, on the telephone. We can do it on the phone, no problem. Same thing.
Awesome.
Okay. Does it work better if the person has a camera, or does that not matter?
Doesn't matter.
Wow.
Doesn't matter at all.
Awesome.
Wow, interesting.
Woo.
Wow, Chris. Well, thanks so much for spending an extended, 4th of July holiday for us interviews. Thanks for staying on for so long with us.
No problem. I just enjoy this like you wouldn't believe. You guys are fantastic.
We
thanks
feel
so much.
the same way. Thanks.
And let us know if there's anything we could do for you.
We'll be talking again very shortly.
Okay, thanks a lot, Chris.
Ciao.
Bye-bye. Wow, that might have been one of our probably most powerful episodes ever, do you think?
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I really do.
Really
I think it's
fascinating.
going to get a lot of response, either to us or to him or to both. I don't know. I felt like that was probably the most powerful on so many levels.
Yeah, definitely one of the more stranger episodes if you're not really familiar with energy medicine and, quantum mechanics and string theory and this kind of stuff. Not saying I am, but if you don't know anything about that kind of stuff, then I could see how you think this is strange. Why do you think, in our culture, why do you think so many people have to kind of break that barrier before they're even able to accept someone like Chris? Why do you think that is?
Well, I'm starting to, in my own life, just realize it's just complete programming from the time you're a baby. I mean, the minute you come out, you're being programmed left and right. So how could it not seem strange or weird to hear some of this stuff? And it's shocking at first, and a lot of naysayers, and it's pretty controversial. I mean, you don't even realize you're in the system being programmed until you're a little bit out of it. And
Right.
I mean, I only feel like I'm tiny, like a little toe outside of what I've believed, how the world works. So I think just having a little bit of openness is going to, in my own life, just take you in a really neat direction, and not in a frightening way, because I think that might sound really scary. Some of this stuff might freak people out a little bit, but it just makes God so big to me, and I feel like God is dealing with me on such a personal level with all this stuff. So it's a really neat journey in my own life, and seeing the healing that I believe is just all complete goodness. So
Right. Yeah,
pretty neat.
I agree. Oh, so thank you so much, everyone, for listening. What a great show that was. And if you're interested in Chris Kehler and his work,
I don't know who wouldn't be.
Yeah, well, some people may have a closed mind, and that's what they've got, and that's fine. But if you are interested, don't forget to check out his website, Chris Kehler, KEHLER.net, and you can contact him for live blood cell analysis if you live in his area. You can work with radionics with him and through Skype and with his different energy tools and healing pyramids and things like that. So, using Skype, he's able to reach people all over the world, which is really cool.
Well, right. How I've been working with him, we don't have a camera, so it's just over the phone line, and it's a pretty fascinating experience.
Yeah, you've had some interesting things, and we'll talk a little bit about that on the Free For All Friday show coming up this week. But interesting guy. So if you want to check out this show page, again, if you didn't take notes, it is extremehealthradio.com/124. And we have all the websites and reference things and books and things like that he talked about, like that herb that for rheumatoid arthritis and things.
The SPK. Spirit herb.
So we'll have all the notes there for you underneath the books and things. So on extremehealthradio.com/124. And just want to let you know too, if you are able to send a donation, one of the ways that we support our work is through donations. It's actually one of the main ways is through donation. And recently I've stopped doing work for the clients that I had, and I'm focusing on this show full time. And the goal is to get you, Kate, out of your salon so that we can focus on having a 5th show and maybe doing a live show, take calls, and really, really grow. And we've got to
pursue our passion more.
Yeah, and help more people. So we've got lots of plans and ideas and thoughts that we're not sharing yet. But if you'd like to donate to our work so that we can keep the show free for everyone, we'd be so, so, so grateful. And if you'd like to do that, that'd be great. You can do that at extremehealthradio.com/donate.
That would mean the world to us. If you've gained anything from any of our shows and just feel like it adds to your life, we would really appreciate any donation, any amount.
Yeah, $1, $5, $10, whatever you would like to do that. And I realize a lot of you might be in your car or on a run or at the gym or running errands or something. But if you could remember to go to extremehealthradio.com/donate when you get home, that would be such a help. But if you can't, that's not a problem. No big deal. We'll press on and everything will work out.
Yes, it will.
So thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. And if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know. You can email me, Justin at extremehealthradio.com, or
Kate, Kate at extremehealthradio.com.
So thanks so much, everyone, for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to this episode.
It's time to go for now, but our mission does not end with this show.
Justin and Kate will be back with another interview packed full of ideas, discoveries, and unique ways to regain your health.
Head on over to extremehealthradio.com/subscribe and instantly download our free gift too that contains cutting-edge strategies to start making healthy lifestyle changes today.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even as you educate yourself in the field of live food nutrition and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers or listeners medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition. While information in this blog and during this podcast is discussed in the context of numerous conditions, it can be dangerous to take action based on any of the information on this podcast or in this blog, or to start any health program without first consulting a health professional. The content found here is for informational purposes only and is in no way intended as medical advice, as a substitute for medical counseling, or as a treatment or